So I streamed last night on this same account. Now, to make money in this account and to prove that it makes money to make money, then what you're going to have to do is, please hold. It's what they call consistently making money. So this Mark Douglas talks about how to be a consistently profitable trader. Well, that presupposes you're consistently pulling the same trigger on the same idea over and over, or placing the same redundant order over and over. So last night I fell asleep streaming, and I put on some drone, Native Instruments drone, and so here's the story. All this drama here is all preamble to the explosion up. So even there was one more pullback even before everything even took off later on. So the money I made was only on this move. And actually, this is the money I made here on this account in the stream last night. So everybody watched that. It's about this, right? I said, well, it looks like now I could have cashed out everything here, and I've been about 5,300 at that point. Sound like Ryan Brown discussing his trading escapades. At this point here, I had a Porsche, and at this point here, I had a Yugo. Then I went back to the Porsche. So the whole time you're riding this drama, I don't see any point sticking around for some of this bullshit that happens on later in the day. So after a big giant up move, even though you didn't take this price out, it just stalled here. But that was about 2 in the afternoon. So you kind of knew maybe the jig was up. Here, complete reversal of fortune. Now this tells you that, or this creates your first serious higher high, as they say. And this is just an amazing, pullback here, because not only does it not really bounce off of here, it totally crushes back in. So on the 30-minute chart, right? But you have to realize that this bottom becoming a top with the doji is a huge 5 pip window here. This is an amazingly important 5 pip window. So having yourself situated right now in flat, and you have to think, what's the next 2 hours going to bring you? Would you buy here? Oh yeah. So here's the martingale order coming in. Yes, I could make this account into $10,000, but I'd have to be focused on just trading the shit out of this account. So that's another thing. You could talk all day long about, I made this call, I made that call. Unless you could execute that idea, like you can tell me all the great stories of all the movies you're going to make, but unless you got a camera rolling and a guy with a bunch of money to back you, you're pretty much just, it's just, for your ego to pick direction. Because getting the sizing right and getting how the target's right, the stop right, everything cued to that one thing. This is why I just trade the euro, because I can gauge a pocket of 10K, a pocket of 50K. And since I'm always looking at the 5-minute chart, I can say my entry is probably 3 hours away, either up or down. Now, we pegged off the 19 number here, which is so stupid. It's stupid. Is anybody having a problem with these round numbers? Now, the cash out was, for me, anything above here I was cashing out, and this is where I went short at the 19. And depending on how big you can get in, so people don't believe in the round number, but you would be up right now 20 clean pips on that with the stops way up here. So now what's the next thing we do? Now that I'm doing this non-streaming, I can do this blow by blow. And I can stop, pause, come back, time lapse. Streaming, the problem with streaming is it's utterly a performance. And I'm just tired, I only did it because I couldn't sleep. It's too warm. It goes from warm to cold, so I'm trying to ride the storm out, so to speak. The temperature shift from outside to indoors. But I've always lived in this kind of shift climate, so I find it to be more entertaining to the senses, to see if more challenging to live in. See if I can withstand 100. Actually, about 3 years ago, when I used to go jogging, I ran and it was 112 out. And it was when you stopped running, you just started pouring sweat out. The second you stopped running, actually, as soon as you start to slow down, and you're just like overheating, like an old car. And that was beautiful. So, but here, you're really trying to fine tune this. The next hour, could we drop here? Oh, yeah. So you're trying to back. If this back fills, you would trade this bounce. Or you're still short from 19 and you're loving it all the way back to here on the 4-hour structures. So everything's holding together here. Just like we know it unfolds every day, every month, every week. Look at this. And they would call that a flared out triangle. Right? That's one of those triangles. If you see triangles, it's a like a megaphone kind of triangle. It's got a slight, that's the, but look where it's happening. On the 4-hour chart, on this broker, which is a completely different time frame, it's happening right at this pivot here. So you should be able to see these mountain peaks queuing up. That's right on the 5-yard line. So it's easy, right? Slams the 19. You're short on banks. Now, if you're a bear, you sold everything above here and you're prepared to sell all the way to here. You're up on every ticket right now. That's so obvious. It's just stupid. I'm looking to get long. Any kind of pullback to here. Now, here's where I can really go deep with just 1 hour, super aggressive. Now, I'm just going to buy at the market because I just stop hunted somebody on that wick. So I also put the gunshot in here. And I can see it on my 3-minute chart. They just took out the lows from about 2 hours ago here, just a second ago. So if you drill down to the half hour, you'll see it probably on every broker. See that? They just nicked the wick. So you want to buy that. If you didn't get in here, you definitely want to get in there. Now, it's not to say it can't crush all the way back now, because it's totally coming off 19. We can come all the way back to 18. 100 pips slam, but maybe not in a straight line. So I'm thinking, let's try to just, if you're going to go out fishing, you have to catch minnows to catch the big fish. So you catch some minnows. Now you're going to put the minnow on the line and you go out. So you scalp to build your account. Then you can withstand some swings and go scalp mode. There's always, if you have the platform in front of you, there's always a trade. There should always be a trade, whether it's a pending limit or a market order or a stop order. You shouldn't be doing nothing. This idea that you're waiting for the ultimate entry because you're going to load the fucking wagon is just insanely retarded. It actually redefines retardation. Gives it a whole new... But yeah, streaming's fun, but it's just too tense. And so here I can pause if it gets boring. Come back and go blow by blow. Very easy. It's a 5-pip grid. Pretty sure. And we're trying to make 10 pips with a 5-pip stop. We can risk 50 to make $100. But not on one ticket. To get into 100K, you have to put the 25K down on the limits and get in on 1Ks. At the market, you think it's going up. How's that working out for you? Or you're like, okay, I'm watching it. I see tick chart. Now maybe you do have to go boom, 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 boom on your 1K, take 12K, make a few bucks. Trust me, there's going to be trades when you want to load the wagon, and you're just going to have that dry powder. You can't force the market to. Now it looks like a possible follow through. Now the time of day we have here, we've got 3 hours left before we. This is Wednesday. Don't forget, this is Wick Wednesday, and we're always going to see new highs and new lows. There's going to be violence coming out of. So we saw a very huge engulf coming out of Monday. This is just classic bullshit. Like if you look at this view of the market, as you come out of Sunday night, huge. They followed a bet on Sunday night, right? Buyers are buying fresh lows. When retrace to here, it defies the floor here, and we go total engulf mode. Right? This is the real pivot. So right, right on the 1 hour chart, simplicity. Then, and then it, so this is an Elliott wave. I think it'd be like wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe. I don't know. The fuck, it's a big wave. Come back to this pivot. So it's a stairway it's building. And it wouldn't be unusual for sellers to come in up here. So I'm expecting to pull back some more. So I'm only inside of 3K now. So I'm up 25 cents on 3K. So I'm a winning trader, right? Should I get out? Should I add? Well, I'd probably add. I'm going to buy 2K at the market with a very tight stop and a very tight take profit. So that's my scalp. And we'll wait, and we can come back. So now I can pause it, and so you can do blow by. It's just too hard to stream. Somebody suggests it, and like I said, it's like being on stage. And if your guitar amp catches on fire, it's a pain in the ass. People are calling. People are not. You have to put a do not disturb sign on the door to stream practically. Can't have any women on your lap. It's annoying. Okay, so we're looking for this. Maybe we can make $2 here. Let's see. Come back here at the bottom of the hour, see what kind of money we're sitting in. Okay, I got sells in here. I mean buys down here. I sold just a little bit. But pretty much waiting to get filled on limits. Waiting to get filled on limits here. Coming all the way back to 1870. And still could drop all into the afternoon. We could drift down. I guess the swing traders are still long. Here we got some buying coming in now. Okay, so I'm going to buy that 2K. I'm at 422.95. Okay, bottom of the hour, and we're trapped below here. We pulled all the way back, and just once again, you're buying new lows here just for the scalp. Target's got to be here. That was the last target for that last scalp. Another target. Possible ride into this this low now. So we're finally cashing out into this void on the north side now. I think I'm up like $10 here. Okay, so I'm gonna wrap up the video here. I think we know how this ends. Cashing out. Boom, it's over. Wasn't that easier than streaming?